Hello everyone, so the Five Nights at Freddy's 12-year anniversary was very recent, just 6 days ago, where we got the reveal of a real-life Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Security Breach 2, and FNAF World 2. Now that was already a really exciting anniversary reveal, but there's actually one more reveal that goes alongside this, which is honestly really huge, and that is ScottGames is actually active now. For the past 5 nights, ScottGames has been posting daily teasers with no signs of stopping. Generally, I think he'll go on for tomorrow and a few days later. I have no idea how long he tends to go on for, but I knew that I wanted to talk about it today to make the 5 nights joke. So, yeah, let's talk about them today. What has Scott been posting? So the first one I already talked about on a community post, which is new cover art for Tales from the Pizzaplex, the first on Lally's game. Now, I'm going to be honest, none of these posts are particularly huge. Actually, there are two that are more interesting than the others, and there's one that's really, really interesting that was posted today. So we'll get there when we get there. But first, Tales from the Pizzaplex cover art. So the original Tales from the Pizzaplex Lally's game cover art looked like this. And it's now been replaced with this. So yeah, the art looks way better, and that's going to be a consistent thing throughout all of these. There's been most of the things that ScottGames has showed off so far is new art by Snartles, and it's all looks amazing. There's not really anything to really comment on here. It's just new cover art, right? They're replacing old Pinky art because it looks like this, and Towers didn't sell very well. So Haps as well was also redrawn. This was the old Haps art, and then it got updated again for bundle collections. This is a newer Haps art. I actually didn't really like this one because even though it looks better, it's too intentionally dangerous in my opinion, whereas Haps is only dangerous due to the damage it takes. But this one I think represents the story way better. The damage is clearly showing that that's why it's dangerous, otherwise it doesn't actually look that bad. So, yeah, this one looks really, really good art, accurately represents the story, just fantastic in general. And then we get the novel trilogy view poster, and this is the first one that I think is more interesting. This is the original novel trilogy poster, by the way. Again, what the hell is this? Way better, man, not even a comparison. Like, this is just a glow up, insane glow up. By the way, realistic looking humans. I've always wanted to see this in Five Nights at Freddy's. I was really disappointed that the only time we ever really see them is in like this really cartoony art style. This art style looks way better, and I hope we get more art by Snartles in the updated character encyclopedia, because I would love to see more human characters in the series drawn by Snartles. Like the animatronics, yes, they look great, but damn, we've never seen humans look anywhere near this good, man. Now there is one funny little thing is that this version of Sex Baby kinda looks a little too Eleanor coded. A lot of people have called that out, but I think it still looks good anyway. It doesn't really bother me that much. But the interesting part about this though is that it isn't cover art; it's a poster redraw. So they aren't just going and replacing cover arts to get more people to buy the books so they look better on a surface level. They're doing posters as well. So I'm curious to see how far they go in replacing old Pinky and Fizzy art, because I'd love to see them go as far as like updating the games. His Pizza Sims title screen doesn't look that great in my opinion. And so there's a few pieces of art here and there that I think could be updated, but, ScottGames kind of never updates the old games. But then again, he never updated the old books either, so look what they're doing, so who knows, I'm really, really curious how far they'll go, because the more art that gets replaced, the better, in my opinion. And, damn, it just looks amazing. I just can't stop looking at this one specifically. And moving on, we got the third Tales of Pizzaplex cover, replacement for the old Somnophobia cover. And this is the old Somnophobia cover. Again, a running trend, the new art looks way better. And not only is this one way better, but it's also more accurate. Because this story is not actually about Moon himself, it's about Moon's dream sphere. Which wasn't even on the original cover art, mate. Like, the whole point of the story wasn't even here. Like, I get that they put Moon front and center because it's Moon's thing, but it's not about Moon, so it's weird to just not have the sphere in there. But the new one, it focuses on the sphere. It's Moon's dream sphere. It's actually accurate to the story now, which is really nice to see. Just ignoring the fact that the art looks way better, it's actually more accurate too. Just great in general. I can't stop glazing just how much better this art looks compared to the originals. It's such an insane glow up. But okay, now today's reveal, the one I think is the most interesting. This poster. What are you most hoping to see at the real-life Freddy Fazbear's Pizza? with a new poster for the pizzeria. Help wanted, we want you to be the new face of Fazbear's Pizza. Inquire within. And if you zoom in on the lanyard, this is where it gets interesting. It says Mike Schmidt, hired 8th of August, 1980 something. Which means they are adding lore to the real life pizzeria, which I think is just such a fun idea. Like, they've made this whole new pizzeria in real life that has new things like this whole survival horror experience and all the arcades and stuff. It's a completely new version of the Freddy's Pizza for real life. So to tie that in and give it a story purpose, like put it in the official series lore, is such a fun idea in my opinion. I do really hope that even though like they got Mike Schmidt in here, which is a fun little idea here too, it implies that Mike Schmidt has worked at this older version of Freddy's before FNAF 1, which is great. I think it's a fun little addition, again, just to tie it into the story a bit more. I think it's a fun conclusion. I just really hope that all the lore implications they do with this new Freddy's is just stuff to flesh out the new Freddy's, and it's the lore of the new location. I really hope nothing lore integral to the larger story is the new Freddy's, because it'd be kind of annoying if important story beats were locked behind a real life Freddy's that most fans can't go to. So I really hope they don't do that, but just fleshing out the lore of the pizzeria itself and tying it in with like, oh, some characters went here. I think that's a fun little addition. I think it's a great way to tie the real life Freddy's in, I guess, to the lore. Because Freddy's and Fast Freddy's is all about the lore and its history, and it's such a big part of the franchise, and to represent that with the real life attraction, I think is a really fun idea. Again, as long as they just don't overdo it. Things like this, I think this is fine. Now, I have heard people say that this could be for the Five Freddy's 1 Freddy's instead of the real life Freddy's, but like, it's a post about the real life Freddy's. Why would it not be about the real life Freddy's? I don't know what people are talking about there. Like, this is August 8th. Five Freddy's 1 doesn't even take place in August 8th, mate. Like, I feel like it's pretty obvious that this is a lore tie-in to the real life Freddy's. But hey, maybe y'all in the comments are gonna flame me for thinking that. Maybe it has nothing to do with the real life Freddy's, and it really is just a FNAF 1 lore drop. But I don't know. Why would they talk about the real life Freddy's then here, man? But anyway, yeah, that's all my thoughts. This one is This one is the most interesting to me because yeah, it adds to the lore. I just think it's such a good idea, man. It's such a fun idea. I've already talked about it. I could ramble on that for so much just because I think it's fun. I'm curious to see how much they flesh out the lore of the new pizzeria, and I'm excited to see how much more art they replace. And yeah, ScottGames this was today's post, so they're gonna keep posting presumably for a while. I don't know how long they're gonna keep posting for. I'm curious to see how long they keep going for. See how much they reveal. I am really excited to see where they take this account, going forward in the short term and the long term. So yeah, it's been great. It's been great. And I will definitely do more videos talking about what ScottGames has been sharing, when he shares more things. Probably weekly, if it keeps going on, I'll either like wait for when he's done and then make a video, or I'll just do it weekly if he really goes for weeks on end. I don't think he will, but if he does, that'd be crazy, that's for sure. But anyway, I'll see you next time, and well, I mean, yeah, I'll see you next time. There's nothing else to say.